Late evening, you are watching News Tonight with me, Linda Hercules, where we bring to you news from all round. But before we look at the highlights in detail, let's take a quick look at the top headlines. Chief Minister Jayalalitha writes to Manmohan Singh to take necessary steps for the release of Alex Menon. Government swings into action over the kidnapping of Alex Menon. Anti-Maoist operation suspended in Bastard. 5-member panel to analyze the safety of Mulai Periyar Dam to submit its final report to the Supreme Court on 25th of April. Indian delegation's visit to Lanka of no use to the people there, alleges CPI leader D. Raja. Madras High Court imposes a fine of Rs 1 lakh to the petitioner who filed the case seeking the dismissal of Army Chief General V.K. Singh. Sasikala appears in the Bangalore Special Court for the hearing of the disproportionate assets case. And the Madras High Court rejects the bail plea of a 37-year-old school teacher for allegedly eloping with 11th standard students. News in detail. While the whole of India is hoping for the safe return of the abducted Sukma collector Alex Paul Menon, Chief Minister Jayalalitha has done her bit for his release. She has penned a letter to the Prime Minister urging him to take immediate steps to save the collector hailing from Tamil Nadu from the clutches of the Maoists. Jayalalitha said that it is highly unfortunate and worrisome that the collector was abducted while he was on duty. She has expressed hope that the Home Ministry will take swift actions and save Alex soon. She has also addressed the concerns of the kidnapped collector's relatives living in Tamil Nadu. UPA, LI and DMK President M. Karunanidhi too appealed to the centre to take all steps for the early release of the abducted collector. Writing in the DMK mouthpiece, Mursuli, he requested the centre to extend all help to the Chhattisgarh government and ensure his early release. Karunanidhi recalled that Home Minister P. Chidambaram had spoken to Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Raman Singh to discuss the issue and said the abducted officer's wife had also made an emotional appeal for her husband's release. The centre and the state have swung into action after the kidnapping of the district collector. After the Maoists set a deadline of Wednesday and asked for forces to be withdrawn from Bastard, the government has decided to put operations in the area on hold as they do not want a confrontation. The Maoists also demand the release of 8 prisoners and Operation Green Hunt to be halted. Sources say that the security forces now know the exact location of the collector. The state has set up a 5-member team led by the Chief Minister to tackle the hostage situation. Commenting on the abduction by the Maoist, Indian Communist Party Secretary D. Raja stated that the incident was very unfortunate and that such practices should be strongly condemned.
Communist Party of India, we do not approve what Maoists are doing in Orissa or Chhattisgarh. We condemn the abduction of the collectors as well as the elected members of assembly.
D. Raja also said that the Indian delegation's visit to Sri Lanka would not do any good to the plight of the Tamils in Lanka. He also added that the MPs who are back to India from the visit are contradicting each other's statements while briefing about the situation prevailing there.
ஒரு உறுப்பினர் சொல்லுகிறார், அவர்களெல்லாம் அவர்கள் விரும்பிய இடங்களுக்கெல்லாம் போவதற்கு சுதந்திரம் இருந்தது, அவர்கள் சுதந்திரமாக போனார்கள் என்று சொல்லுகிறார். இன்னொரு உறுப்பினர் சொல்லுகிறார், கோயிலுக்கு போவதற்கு கூட இலங்கை இராணுவத்தின் ஆணையை பெற்று அனுமதியை பெற்றுதான் தமிழ் மக்கள் போக வேண்டியிருக்கிறது என்று சொல்லுகிறார். எனவே அவர்களே முரண்பட்ட தகவல்களை இன்றைக்கு சொல்லிக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். திருமதி சுஷ்மா சுவராஜ் கூட இன்றைக்கு இந்திய அரசால் அங்கு செய்யப்பட்டு வருகிற பணிகள் சிறப்பாக இருக்கின்றன என்று சொல்லுகிறாரே தவிர அங்கு தமிழ் மக்களின் அவலம் குறித்து அந்த அவலங்களை போக்குவதற்கு அவர்களுக்கு அரசியல் தீர்வு காண்பதற்கு அந்த அரசு மேற்கொண்டு வருகிற நடவடிக்கைகள் எதை பற்றியும் சொல்லவில்லை.
On to updates from the Mulai Periyar Dam Row. The 5-member panel formed to analyze the safety of the controversial Mulai Periyar Dam, headed by former Chief Justice A.S. Anand, will submit its final report to the Supreme Court on the 25th of this month. The panel conducted spot inspections and also received 11 reports on the dam from various agencies. Based on those inputs, along with its own analysis, the Anand Committee has prepared its final draft. This report will be submitted to the Supreme Court bench headed by Justice D.K., which will hear this case on the 4th of May, following which the versions of the Tamil Nadu and Kerala governments will be heard. The apex court is to pronounce its final verdict after that. The Madras High Court imposed a fine of Rs 1 lakh to the petitioner who filed a case seeking the dismissal of the Indian Army Chief General V.K. Singh for wasting the time of the court. The case, filed by Chennai-based Vishwamurthy, came up for hearing before the bench comprising Justice L.L. Dharmarao and Justice Venugopal. Additional Solicitor General Ravindran, representing the central government, quoted the previous judgments of the apex court that an incumbent army chief cannot be dismissed. The judges dismissed the petition and ordered the petitioner to pay the fine within a period of 2 weeks.
This case, WP 10753 of 2012 came up of the second bench of the L.P. Dharmarao and Venugopal. Take the case, and argument is additional Solicitor General Mr. Ravindran argued, and 3 cases is referred to the Supreme Court cases, and also is argued the stand is V.K. Singh is appointment is correct, and the Government of India is stand is very correct. Because of this argument is going to end, and the petitioner going to withdraw, but Justice L.P. Dharmarao and also Venugopal Jay is going to fine is 1 lakh fine within 2 weeks to Arbitration Association. Otherwise, to take the Revenue Act.
The Union Minister for Chemicals and Fertilizers, M.K. Aragiri, responding to the allegations of encroachment of land for the Daya Cyber Tech Park in Madurai, said that no rules were flouted. Apparently, the land in question was said to be owned by his family members. Based on complaints filed, the district collector Sahayam had summoned the minister and his son Dayanidhi Aragiri. Speaking for the first time on the issue, Aragiri said that there are no irregularities as alleged. When he was quizzed about his brother's talent, he refused to comment on the reported rift between them. Staying with regional politics, VK Sasikala appeared in the Bengaluru Special Court for the hearing of the disproportionate assets case against Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha. Sasikala, the co-accused in the case, is said to have answered over 80 questions for today. Her answers to approximately 550 questions is said to have been recorded so far. Questions reportedly included salary details of the workers employed in Post Garden and the bank details of Jayalalitha. A petition which was filed by the two of them seeking the perusal of unmarked documents pertaining to the case was dismissed by the special court's judge. Sources say that Sasikala has another 900 questions coming her way. While Sasikala's sister-in-law, another accused in the case, appeared today, her nephew Sudhakaran was absent. The case has now been adjourned to the 2nd of May. The DMK members today boycotted events in the Tamil Nadu Assembly as a gesture condemning the suspension of 4 DMK members last week. The Assembly Speaker suspended DMK legislators Mohdin Khan, E.V. Velu and Kumbam Ramakrishnan for allegedly making accusing remarks at the Speaker while they were being evicted from the House. Condemning the suspension, the DMK members boycotted the Assembly events. Moving on into the issue of Kudankulam, putting an end to the big question mark over the commencement of the nuclear plant, Union Minister for State in the Prime Minister's office, Narayanaswamy, said that the plant will begin its power generation in 40 days. The contribution from the first unit of the plant will be 1000 megawatts and the second unit will be functional within 2 months of the commissioning of Plant 1. The Madras High Court rejected the bail plea of a 37-year-old school teacher for allegedly eloping with an 11th standard student a few months ago. The police caught the teacher and his student in Delhi based on a complaint filed by the boy's father, following which the teacher was arrested. The teacher had then filed a petition with the Chennai Sessions Court claiming that she had taken the boy to Delhi only to give him moral counseling as he had complained of torture by his parents. However, the court refused to grant bail to the teacher and condemned her act. More news and updates on the other side of a very short break. Stay tuned.